Okay.
I'm recording.
All right. So, rules of a balance sheet. We're going to use the equation A equals L plus OE, assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity. And so this will make more sense once we see the T chart on the next slide, but each side of the table has to stay balanced at all times. They have to equal each other.
So now onto the reserves. So there is a reserve requirement. For example, if there's a 10% reserve requirement and a $10,000 deposit, then the reserve requirement will be $1,000. And any amount above this may be held as excess reserves or used for finance lending. For example, in the $10,000 deposit that I mentioned previously, there could be a $9,000 excess reserve.
Okay, and finally, this is the structure of the balance sheet or the T chart. This is the thing that we've been doing on the quizzes and the practice. This is a graphical representation of the alloy thing that Anna explained. A couple of basic rules here. If you have a deposit, if you have a required reserve rate of R and you have a deposit D, then you add RD into required reserves and 1 minus R times D into the excess reserves. If you have a loan, you will add the loan L and you'll subtract it from the excess reserves because that's where you borrow from. If you have a loan that gets paid back, then you will subtract it from the loans category. You will add it into the excess reserves category and you'd add the interest rate that gets paid back, owner's equity, into here. Typically that would be 0, which is like specified in the previous slide. AP exam, whatnot, but that's just like the fun little tidbit. And if you have a withdrawal, then you subtract it from deposits. You do R times D subtracted from required reserves and 1 minus R times D subtracted from the excess reserves. Okay, thank you for listening. How do I stop the recording?